So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
While it hasn't been 5 years, I mean, that's an exaggeration, it certainly feels like it. And I've taken this last period away to be introspective and look at how far I've come instead of how far I have left to go.
Alright, so it feels like I'm struggling to make any progress, but I keep trying. Next up, I'm going to deal with this seal right here. As you can see, it is exceptionally tired, original seal. I've got the new seals over there. And while I'm at it, I decided to do this service bulletin from 1980. It says it's only 8 hours. Only 8 hours. Time allowed, 8 hours.
Welcome to Project 308. I know I've said this already, but it's been a while, hasn't it? Today's video is going to be primarily about the installation of this roof update kit. And all of this early footage is around 6 months old. That's ancient in my world.
Alright, step number 1. I have to remove that header panel right there. Yeah, it doesn't look that good.
For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, in 1980 or 81, Ferrari came out with this system to improve the seal between the targa top roof and the body, to stop it from leaking water. And guess what? I foolishly thought that this was a good idea. I mean, I guess eventually I'll be happy, but right now, not so happy. I'm sure I stared at the instructions for a couple days before I actually even opened a drawer on my toolbox. Step 1 is not what I'm doing. I'm doing things backwards. I thought I'd modify the car first and then do the roof after. I think that worked out okay though. Right now I'm attempting to mount an auxiliary support piece onto the car to hold the updated seal.
The metal substructure, the piece that goes across the front of this, has probably been sitting around in a warehouse for 30 effing years, and it's kind of bent and it's kind of this and it doesn't fit properly, and I'm really starting to get pissed off at it because I spent way too much time on this damn thing. Originally fitted this on top, which it's not supposed to be. Not a big deal, I just moved it to the bottom because I hadn't riveted it in or anything like that. But there's no details in the instructions where this is supposed to go. My whole structure is sitting a little bit to that way, about 2 millimeters. Not horrible, but that I'm assuming has to get riveted there somehow. And same thing over on this side, but this side seems to be deformed. I'm going to end up having to sort of bang that back into shape. Like I said, I'm sitting this way, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, so definitely not far. My problem is that the way the seal fits around it, grab our seal like that, so somehow this little groove right here, that little thing has to sit in there. So I sort of have it tentatively on. I guess that little cut in the seal, that it just sort of sits around it, but you can see here, like it sticks out quite a ways further than I thought it would stick. You got to maintain a distance of 20 millimeters between the back of the flange of the metal and this here. I mean, I still have to tighten this gap up. I guess it works. It's just a bit more of a pain in the butt than I thought it was going to be. But then again, the instructions do say this takes 8 hours, but I figured this half would be the easier half. That's why I started with this half, but no, I think I suck. I've been fussing with it forever, and I'm tired of fussing with it, and the only solution is for me to fix it before I put it on the car. Alright, so this is literally the way this thing was shipped to me. That's 2 holes drilled side by side. That's an elongated hole. The impression I'm getting is that somebody's tried to install this piece before. I can't use that hole because it's just too big and my rivet will never clamp down on it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill these holes and I'm going to grind it down and I'm going to re-drill all the holes. Alright, let's go get some more aggressive cookies. We call them cookies. Alright, so we got the variety. These are for, you know, a little bit of aggressive. These are bigger ones. These ones here are the most aggressive. So we need to take some aggressiveness. Alright, so all the big holes are fixed, ground it down. Now I got a few little holes that are just peeking through that I gotta re-weld and do the same process over again. So here's my piece. I've welded it all back up. I've repainted it. There was two reasons why I did this. First reason was the holes on the sides were just like that big. They were 1/4 of an inch big, a couple of them, and I really didn't think I'd be able to accurately hold this unit in place. Second reason is I was fussing, and you know, I've been on this point of it for a couple weeks. I was fussing because the piece was 2 or 3 millimeters, I mean a 1/16 of an inch off to the driver's side, and I was just really pissing me off. So I didn't want to drill new holes in the car, so I have re-jiggamarooed all this back together. That way I can use the existing holes in the car, get this aligned properly, get this thing on the car, finally, and move on with my life.
Re-drilling it for the second time was a little more difficult than the first time. The fear of slipping and scratching or damaging was huge, so I kept taking it back off and drilling it on the bench. But finally, I grew closer to getting ready to put it on. As per the instructions, I put some sealant between the rail and the roof. Let's see how it fits.
Well, that was a pain in the ass. Now, if you listen really carefully, I mean, really listen, it's quiet. That's because it's Sunday. I haven't been here on a Sunday in 6 months. Now, it's not that I don't love working on my car, because I do. It's just that I'm tired of fighting the shop when working on my car. Look at the layer of dust on this cover. Let's shake that off. All right, so right here, right through here, this piece, this metal add-on piece, the rail that comes with the little kit, I swear I should have just made one. It would have been easier than trying to push this one back into shape. I still have a problem right here where it's a little bit low. I have had all these rivets back in and out 3 or 4 times trying to pull it tighter. I didn't show you any of that because it's just a pain. It took a lot of effort to get that to mold around that corner. I have it now. I have one spot to fix right here, and then I'm going to start figuring out how this seal goes on. I'm not actually sure which way this thing goes. It doesn't show it in the diagram which way it goes. I'm going to try it the other way just to see if it fits a bit better. But I think this is the way it goes.
No way. Not this time.
No. No, no, no.
This way. Right, so I'm pretty sure I have the seal facing the correct way now, but I'm not going to glue anything or cut anything until I'm a little more confident that I have this all facing the correct way. But I'm going to get it in there for now, just going to press and fit. And then I'm sure you guys will correct me if I'm wrong. But let's work on this. Alright, when you see spots like this right here, where I don't have enough gap to get it in, I'm kind of having to open that up a bit and drop it down. It's really it's a tight fit right through there. You can see where the body had been repaired here at an earlier date. Same thing with there. The seal never sat properly when the car came to me. This piece was not on, this piece was not on. There was a seal loosely put on there, but because there was no issue here before, because that plate wasn't there, that never got corrected. So I'm sort of bending that out a bit as well as I'm going along. Okay, so I've got about 2 feet left. I'm not going to cut or glue anything until I've got it 100% sure that I've got it in the right orientation. I want to work on the top right now, but pull that back a bit, put that down there. And this isn't anywhere close to fitting. Well, I knew this wasn't going to fit. I just didn't know how much I have to take off. As per the instructions, you have to kind of cut out a little bit here to get around that seal. I didn't want to do this first, even though the instructions said to do this first, because I was a little afraid of taking too much off, because I'm like, how much do I take off? Now that I have the seal on in a rudimentary fashion, I'm going to pull the top off and start doing what I consider to be the more scary part, which is grinding.
Before I can grind anything, however, I have to get these side seals off. And they were a pain too.
Well, I definitely think I understand what I've got to do now. If I'm looking here, this is the edge of the roof, like this here, and they want that is approximately 5 mils thick, and they want me to continue that line up here so that that radius keeps going with that there into the 5 mil, removing all that stuff there. And I don't mind telling you, I'm a little bit afraid. Yeah, why yes, I can feel the fiberglass getting into my arms and everywhere. It's gonna be a rough night when I go to bed. Gotta remove more of that. All right, so this is definitely not going as smoothly as this update would appear to indicate that it will go. I still got to take more off. Plus, I'm probably going to have to modify the car where the pins go into a little socket on the roof, and there's some shims. I'm probably going to have to pull those shims out and push the female end up a bit because it's not fitting well. From the looks of it, I got this profile getting close, but the side profile, which is right here, goes like that. So I pulled that part down right here. Now I've got to get more of it out. All right, I've really pulled this back now. I've just got mad at it and just pretty much taken it off. I found a Ferrari chat post of a guy doing it, and he's clearly pulled his back almost all the way back. That's what I've done. I'll repair the holes momentarily. Okay, so that definitely did the trick. Pulling that back, cutting that part back even further, even the pinhole, the mount on the car side definitely needs to go up. With all those shims in there, just doesn't get in the hole. It's definitely a now. It looks okay. The rivet holes are exposed. The rivets are exposed. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do that because that wasn't part of my plan. But I'll figure out a way to cover that up. I am not any kind of paint expert, but I know a little bit. Got some black automotive paint there. The ratio for this paint is 4:1, which means 4 parts paint, 2 parts reducer, 1 part hardener. 4:1, 4 parts paint, 2 parts reducer, 1 part hardener. So if I'm going to fill to that 2 mark right there, I would fill that with paint, and I would keep going to there with reducer, and then I would keep going to there with the hardener. And once I have all those in there, mix it up and shoot it. Alright, as you can see, I've repainted this right here. It looks okay. It's a little brighter than I thought it was going to be. I did not paint any of the inside, simply because it is the correct color. This is going to be covered here with a seal, and this is going to be covered once it's locked into place, so I wasn't that particular about it being off color-wise a little bit, but it turned out pretty good. We'll deal with the rest of it later, but for now, I'm happy with that. Set timer 15 minutes. On review, I've decided that this black is just a little too brilliant. When I put it on the car, it's just a smidgen visible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit it with this trim-clad black, trim black, the one that is popularly known as the color that matches the most accurately. If it gets scratched, at least I got the good, solid, hard paint underneath it. But let's see how this works. I think it's going to get closer. Now that is definitely much closer. I've taken the seal back off because that area of the car needs to be black. It did not get painted. When the car got painted, I need to address that before I put the seal on. I forgot about that. Oh, damn it. So the roof is on now. I'm not happy with that gap that's there, but I'm assuming once the seal is back in and it kind of pushes it forward a bit, it's going to compress that seal a bit, because I believe the seal is really stiff. It doesn't seem quite right to me. It feels like the roof's got to go forward more. I'm going to keep working on that, but in essence, it's in now. I'm actually going to leave the interior for a bit because it's demotivating to me. I've been on it so long, and it never seems to end, and there's still a lot of work to do in the interior, but I can pick away at it now. The major stuff's been done. I'm just going to pick away at it slowly over the course of the winter. Next up is going to be working on the fuel system. I need to get back into mechanical work and not interior work. Yeah, so next video, look forward to some fuel system service. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching and participating and checking up on me. I appreciate it. Hopefully it won't be 4 or 5 months for another video. Hopefully it'll be 1 month. But thanks, and we'll see you soon.